And here we are again, back for the edition of Trey's Chow Down Live. And I'm here today with Chef Chad.
Hey, how are you?
Everybody good. And we're going to get started with Chad in a minute. We're going to get started with our hot topics first. This is really interesting. You know what they did back today in 1883?
No.
Some guy decided to take some drugs and put them in some soda and call them Coca-Cola.
Oh, there we go.
I'm pretty sure Wikipedia doesn't say that.
I bet you it doesn't.
Anyway, so yeah, 1883 they invented Coke, which is a neat deal. Uber Eats, I want to talk a bit about Uber Eats. They have been going through some changes, and they've been trying to do some studies because they've been kind of floundering, but I think they've kind of got it going now. They did a huge study across the United States, and they found out that 44% of the people in America from their study have inquired about food being delivered. Can you believe that? 44%.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
Of those, I told you, I think we talked about this before, I thought it was going to be price. Of those, the number one most important thing was service.
Oh, wow.
Could you get the food to them?
Wow.
The third thing was price.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
I would have said price one, but
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, well, service.
Yeah.
Service.
Means everything. Means everything.
Yep, social media's been a big part of that.
For sure.
And they've got a new thing fixing to be on the market called Penny, the robot server.
Really?
It's a robot server. The company they've just invested $32 million. A company in Japan is funding them. They're giving them money, and this robot's going to serve people. And they're going to try it, test it out in the restaurant industry. How about that?
That's crazy.
Yeah. It won't work. Not in my restaurant.
No, it won't work at all.
And I want to remind everybody that the Meat Board opened up in Fort Worth. It's a fantastic butcher shop and restaurant for lunch. They've got hand-cut meats. You can get all kinds of awesome meats. They've got great burgers, steaks. You need to check them out. That's in West Fort Worth. It's called the Meat Board. Also, Stefan Rochelle opened up his new restaurant, Wishbone in Flint. Last week he opened up for soft opening, but this week it opens up for the grand opening. And if you haven't made it out there yet, you need to get out to Wishbone in Flint. It's on the south side of Fort Worth, just outside of downtown Fort Worth, going south about a mile. They're in the new district, and it's a neat concept. It's a very eclectic concept. There's not one chair or anything in there that's the same.
Oh,
it's
cool.
all eclectic, and they have a thing called the Amber Room, which is super cool. It's a speakeasy, a throwback to the speakeasy, and you got to walk through curtains. It's a neat deal.
That's cool.
It's fantastic. All right, now we're going to get down with Chef Chad. Chad, man, thanks for coming down. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
So, Chad, you're from Dallas. No, you're not from Dallas. Where are you from?
I was born in Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how long were you there?
Not long. I moved to Duncanville, just south of town, in 84 maybe. So I've been around Texas for quite some time.
Well, you've seen a lot of changes, haven't you?
Yeah.
Seen Duncanville since 1984.
Yeah. So
It was still kind of farmland out there, wasn't it?
yeah. It was a real small town.
Yeah.
Maybe about 30,000.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a whole lot past Duncanville at that point. I mean, Duncanville was pretty small, but it's gotten huge down that way, all the way through, basically to Austin now.
Yeah, it's all one big conglomerate, that's for sure.
I know.
So how old were you when you moved down there?
I started second grade in Duncanville and then
Okay.
graduated high school there. And then I left after that and went to Colorado State in 1995.
Okay.
So
How old were you when you got the cooking bug?
I've always loved to be around the kitchens and with my mom and my grandma. And when I finally when I failed out of college, I needed a job, and so I decided I was going to work in a restaurant as a waiter. And that lasted for about a week.
Wait a minute. You said you fell out of college. Did you truly fail out of college, or were you just partying and having fun and didn't go to school?
No. I failed out.
Oh, you failed out?
Oh, yeah. I was
okay.
I had a 1.4 GPA.
Oh, wow.
For 3 semesters.
That's not for everybody.
Yeah, they said I don't think we want you back here. I said, all right, well, I won't come back then.
I didn't finish either, but I just couldn't sit still. I got ADD real bad, and I couldn't sit still long enough.
I think that's a lot of what mine was.
Yeah.
Just I can't do that, and so. Waited tables for about a week, and the manager told me I was not good. And
so you didn't make it in college, and they told you weren't good waiting tables.
Yeah, so he had a couple of kitchen guys down with pneumonia, and this was in Fort Collins, Colorado. And he said, "Do you have you ever cooked before? I said, no. He said, well, let me show you. He's like, I really like you. Let's do this. And I mean, I loved it, and I thrived really fast there. So
So 1 week in the front of the house, and you went to the back of the house.
yep,
And
one
then,
week.
and did they give you any training? Or they just told you? Would you learn by fire?
Kind of both. I mean, he would train me during the day, and then I'd be on the line at night.
Okay.
So it was fun, man. I loved it. And so my mom and dad said, well, why don't you go to culinary school? I said, okay, yeah. I mean, why not? So I started at 19 years old.
Okay, see, I never, as many times as I've talked, I've never asked you about culinary school, so this is great.
Yeah.
So you went to, what culinary school did you go to?
So I went to the Culinary Institute of Colorado.
Oh, cool.
In Colorado Springs. And it's in a community college. It's a lot like the El Centro program here in town.
And I like that El Centro program. And, you know, they're moving out to the old Le Cordon Bleu building.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know
They're
that.
growing.
Yeah. So it was, that's what it was. I mean, it was in a community college, and we served the kids, we served the teachers, we had a private fine dining spot for the teachers, and then we had a cafeteria for the kids, and we did everything.
How long was the program?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
So it's just like going to college then, basically.
Yeah. You got your associates and a culinary degree, basically.
So what you found out was that when you found something for your passion,
Yeah.
it was easy for you to study and learn.
Oh yeah, 3.9 GPA, president of the class.
Yeah,
It was
big
crazy.
difference, isn't it?
Yeah,
big difference.
Very big difference.
So 2 years. So what was your? Did you work at all, or did you just go to school?
No, I worked every day.
You worked every day. Okay.
Yep.
Did you have to work as an internship when you were in the school, or did you do it just because you wanted to?
I did. My internship was back here in Dallas at the Crescent Hotel at Bonash.
Oh wow!
That was in '98. I did that.
After you left culinary school.
No, I was still in. So,
so
I
you-
started in '97 in culinary school and graduated in '99. But
Okay.
I was working the entire time, and then did a summer internship at Bonash at the Crescent.
So, for you, what was your most favorite thing at culinary school? What was the thing that grabbed your attention the most? That you could say, I loved this much about culinary school. I learned this much. That was my favorite thing to learn.
Probably the butchering of proteins.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was the one thing that I just could not get enough of, was learning all the animals, how to butcher them, how to,
Where to cut them, joints and everything.
yeah, joints, everything, and then presentation wise,
Yep.
what's going to make the best presentation piece of it all.
And see, back then, people weren't doing a whole lot of that whole animal stuff. And nowadays, oh my God, everybody wants to see it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot because of the Food Network and Cooking Channel and social media.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
social media probably plays a bigger part than the actual TV does. But it's become a neat deal.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, and watching guys and learning all the stuff and the parts and the way to do it is, it's just crazy to me. That's what I've done my whole life, is butcher.
Yeah. What's your favorite part? What's your favorite animal to butcher and cook? Or do you have one?
Probably ducks.
Ducks, yeah.
I'm a big duck hunter, so plucking feathers and learning how to truss up a duck and learning all the good things about the duck, and just cooking them the right way and making sure they're nice.
This is why I love my show, because, and this is why I started and created this show, this platform, because there's so many shows out there for food and chefs, but nothing where you get to learn about chefs. I never knew you liked to hunt duck. I never knew you did you cook duck?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So my ranch, I've got 3 duck blinds and 3 different big, huge lakes where they hunt ducks at.
Oh man.
you never told me that. See?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's I go to 2 different spots, one in Jacksboro and one in St. Joe, and I got family and friends that have big, huge ranches up there, and we go duck hunting all the time. I mean, that's my favorite.
I loved to eat Peking duck.
Oh, yeah.
I ate the first time like 1987 or 88 from Herman that owns Szechuan here in Fort Worth, and I just love Peking duck.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah. And there's an old Thai guy that I learned under, and he did this black duck that was like a smoked duck with molasses and soy over it, and it was just awesome. I mean, the first time I tasted it, I was like, that's the best thing I've ever had. And he would never tell me how to do it, and I've tried to recreate it.
Was it a little bit of crunchy too, the texture?
Oh, yeah.
See that now, that does it right there. that does it, man.
It was smoked and then glazed and smoked and glazed, and it was just so sticky and crunchy and awesome, man.
You know, there's a restaurant in Dallas. I think it's been open a little less than a year now, maybe, but they're in the remodeled. What is that hotel across from the park? They remodeled. It's like a 1950s hotel.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, they have a Chinese restaurant there, and they have all these ducks hanging.
Oh yeah.
In a big glass case. You have to order them 2 days in advance, or a week or something, and they cook it for you and you go get it. But it's a real. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. It's just I have to have enough time in my schedule my schedule changes in the food business a lot. So if I tell them I'm gonna be there in a week or 2 weeks, and it'll change. So
yeah, that's tough. Those are, I know there's a bunch of those kinds of restaurants over in Richardson that do like you can call ahead and order the whole duck, and they slice it out for you and give all the sides. That's, oh my gosh, man, that's one of my favorites.
So what makes a duck, if a duck's real gamey, does that mean it's just old or not cooked right, or what makes it gamey?
Well, there's two different styles, okay? You have your farm-raised ducks, which is a cross between a Pekin, Pekin, and a Moulard duck, all right? So that's mainly the ones that are served in restaurants. And then you have the wild ducks, like you and I eat.
Yeah.
The wild ducks have a lot less fat, and they have...
Yeah, because they're out there working.
Right, and they're out there working, and their heart's pumping all the time, so they taste more gamey or irony, like sucking on a penny.
Right.
But the ones...
Good analogy.
I mean, it's what it tastes like to me.
Good analogy.
The way to get that out of there is just cooking it the right way. Or marinating it the right way.
You brine it, marinate it, and gets it.
Yeah, we usually I usually do herbs, like fresh herbs, garlic, olive oil, and shallots, and let them sit for a couple of days before we even start the process of cooking them. But like with your restaurant ducks, they have the big fat cap on the breast part of it, and they don't have that gamey flavor because they've just been fed corn.
More of a fat, Well, they've been sitting around watching TV all day and eating bonbons.
No, that's my
basically.
Favorite. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, you don't end up like them though.
I know, right?
They're on the table, man.
I know. I just got to cook those.
Okay, so you left culinary school. Where'd you when you left culinary school?
So I came back to Texas. I was working in a restaurant, a wild game restaurant in Colorado for a long time, probably just over year and a half, and decided to come back.
What was the name of the wild game restaurant?
So it was called the Craftwood Inn, INN, and it was
all wild game.
It was all wild
duck,
game.
elk,
buffalo, venison, buffalo. In fact, one time the circus was in town, and they had an old lion die, a male lion die while they were in Colorado Springs, and they called us and asked us if we wanted the saddle, and my chef was like, well, yeah. I mean, we've never had lion. Let's do it.
What? Oh my God, that's too much. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my God, that's a great story.
So we decided we were going to go ahead and try this lion out and see if we could cook it and serve it.
Because most time lions are doing the eating.
Yeah.
You ain't eating the lions.
Yeah. So it was probably the worst experience I've ever had. It was gross. I mean, just so gristly.
Yeah.
Because they eat meat. And
because they're moving all the time, they're a very muscular, strong animal.
Right, and it was not good. So we decided to scrap that idea, and we didn't even serve it. We tried to eat it, and it was bad. I mean, he was an old lion too. So you got two strikes against you right there. But so I left there, came back to town. And
hang on, what was your favorite thing to learn at the place there?
So
what was your favorite thing you took away from there? Experience?
3 times a week. I had to butcher a whole deer, basically skin it. The only thing that was done to it was gutted. So you had to skin it and break it down into 4-ounce portions and 6-ounce portions, the entire deer. And I did that 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Yeah.
I bet you got good at that. You could blindfold yourself.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
In the military, that blindfold, you make you take your weapons apart, put them back together. But these what you doing with deer.
Oh man, I could do it so easy. It's not even funny. And so all my, obviously you're a hunter too. All my family and friends, they always say, come shoot a deer with us. I'm like, no.
They want you to clean and cut it.
And they're like,
have
what?
you got caught on to that?
Oh man, I've done it once for each family, and I said, that's it, I'm done. I won't ever do that again. They're like, why? I said, look, guys, when you start doing that 3 times a week for a year and a half, and that's all you do, and then you're always butchering something. I mean, it's a pain,
Yeah.
But it was one of the coolest things I ever learned, man.
So on that note, what is the hardest thing to butcher? The hardest animal to butcher?
Man, probably a cow. I mean, to be real honest with you, I mean, they're just so big and bulky, and there's so many different parts to them, and learning all the parts is the hardest thing, and learning where to cut, make sure it's right. But I mean, pigs are pretty easy, and all the birds are simple. They're all the same. Once you get into wild game, they're pretty much all the same too.
Some of them are just real small.
Yeah, I mean, but like deer and any of the kinds of deers, even getting down into like antelopes, and when you start looking at rabbits and stuff like that, they're almost built all the same way. So it's real easy.
I like antelope.
Yeah, I love antelope.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, man, they used to. We had all our restaurants. We had a house in Mexico, and we would go across there. Those antelope would be just running. And they don't do it anymore, obviously, but they were running, man, loose, just jumping fence stuff. It was a neat deal.
Oh yeah, they're super cool.
Yeah.
We do I've done 2 different kinds of antelope. We've done the little black bucks, and then we've also done nilgai antelope, which is like a bigger version of the antelope, and they're their legs are more like in the 30-pound range as opposed to the little 8-pound black buck legs. So, but super good.
How much meat's on an average antelope? I mean, pound wise.
On a little black buck, maybe about 30.
Yeah, not a lot.
Maybe,
huh?
Maybe 30. On the nilgais, you're probably looking more in the like a regular deer size, maybe 80 to 100 pounds.
Yeah,
something like that. So.
That's cool. So you left there and you came back. You came back to Texas.
Yeah, I came back to Dallas and
Duncanville or Dallas.
No, I came back to Dallas and did the Crescent Hotel for a little bit longer.
That was a great experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was working about 80, 90 hours a week.
Yeah, and
got rid of my student loans and all my debt, and was like, all right, this is awesome. So a friend of mine told me about this little restaurant, and they were looking for a sous chef, and I said, well, let me see if I can apply and see if I'm good enough to be sous chef.
Sure.
That little restaurant was called The Grape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I started in...
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I started in 2000 as sous chef at The Grape, and I stayed there for almost a year. Does
it seem like just yesterday? Because 2000 to me seems like it was just yesterday. I seem like I remember everybody saying, oh, 2000, everything's going to crash. We're not going to make it. But it seemed like, not. It's 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. And I look back and I go, oh my gosh, that was 20 years ago, and I've been cooking for 24 years now. I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, you've been gaining experience for 24 years. That's what I'd say.
Yes, for sure.
So you left The Grape.
So I left The Grape, and I went to help open a restaurant with these guys called 2900, and it was a little small bistro, 50 seats. We changed the menu about every other week. And just did all kinds of really cool stuff.
When was that?
Where was it?
No, when was it?
This was October 01.
That's amazing because back then, changing the menu a lot wasn't a big thing.
No,
that wasn't. Not that it's now; it's huge, but it wasn't a big thing.
No, back then there was nobody in town was doing it.
No,
I mean, we did it and we had a great time. I mean, we had a couple of dishes that stuck around, but I mean, it was real seasonal. It was real fresh and clean, and that's what drew everybody. I mean, Uptown. This was in Uptown, and Uptown Dallas wasn't big back then. It was
just getting kicked off.
Yeah, it was just getting kicked off, and I mean, all the people in Uptown would come over to us in the Highland Park area, and they wanted something new every time.
Yeah.
So it was really cool experience. I stayed there for 5.5 years, and
5.5 years in the culinary world's a long time.
It's super long. We got a nod to go to the James Beard House and cook at the James Beard House in New York.
That was neat. How was that? Did you like that?
That's probably one of the most nerve-wracking experiences you'll ever have in your entire life.
I bet so. Tell me about that. James Beard, I love James Beard. I'm all their email stuff, and I read their stuff all the time to stay up on what's going on in the culinary world.
Right.
And I think they've done a lot of good for the culinary world.
Yeah, for sure. The man was absolutely just a genius and knew what was going on and made sure everybody knew that the chefs in America were that good worldwide, and that's what he brought to the table. But the house is a little brownstone house.
Yeah.
You would never know it was there if you didn't know exactly where it was. There's a small plaque on the outside that says James Beard House, and that's it. But the really nerve-wracking part about it is while you're finishing cooking or getting ready for the dinner to pop off, everybody walks through the kitchen and shakes the chef's hands on their way to go get their drinks and appetizers started.
Okay.
So while you're plating stuff for appetizer-wise, they're walking right through your kitchen, and you're just standing there, oh, hey, good to see you. Oh, hey, good to see you. So it was...
Nerve-wracking?
It was very, very nerve-wracking. And I wasn't even the chef. The owner of the restaurant was the chef. I was exec sous. And, I mean, I was stressed to no end, man. It was
How long
crazy.
were y'all up there?
Chef was there for 3 nights. I was just there for an overnight. I flew in the morning of. He had driven up there to take all his food because we've heard horror stories
About the airport.
about trying to ship food up there and stuff like that. So he drove up there, and then he stayed for 3 nights.
That's a pretty good idea, actually, I think.
Yeah. Plus, you're seeing America,
Yeah.
and, you know.
You got all your stuff with you, man.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And you know exactly what you got and how to keep it, how to make it fresh and whatnot. So I just flew up there the morning of and did the dinner and then flew back late the next day. So I was in there for maybe 30 hours tops.
Now, they got to have a big corporate office somewhere.
So there is a little office. It's not real big because it's all fundraiser. I mean, it's a nonprofit kind of deal. So they
probably farm a lot of their stuff out there, the PR and stuff like that, I would think.
Yeah. So, but it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done, and I would love to go back and do it someday. And I've been given the opportunity, but I've also had so much on my plate that I couldn't do it at that time. So it's just, it's one of those things. But
what's the most fun thing you did at James Beard House, or just being there?
Being there was really cool, and they have a chef coat, or they have multiple chef coats that are signed by everybody.
Yeah.
And so, sitting there looking at them going, oh my gosh, this is, here's Thomas Keller. And look, right there on the wall. And he's been standing right here. So it was a really cool experience, man. Really cool.
That's neat. So you did that, then where'd you go from there?
So I left 2900 and I decided to apply for my first executive chef job. And I told myself I'd like to do it before 30. And I almost made it.
You almost made it.
So if you want to look at it, I did make it because my birthday was on January 3rd, and I started I hired on with them before, but I didn't fill out my paperwork until the 17th of January. So
Gotcha.
That was my start date, but I was real close right in there.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah, so it was a little restaurant called Culpeper Steakhouse out in Rockwall.
Are they still there?
Oh, yeah.
Are they? Okay.
They've been there 38 years, I think,
now.
Wow. So I started in 07 out there and was there for 10 years as executive chef.
That's a long run.
Yeah, it was a stupid long run.
So what all do they have there? What's their menu like?
So it's just steakhouse. The owner at the time wanted me to change it from more of a country steakhouse where they had fried catfish and chicken fried steak and stuff like that. And he wanted it more brought up to speed with the Dallas steakhouses.
Gotcha.
Like, your Nick and Sam's or, Bob's or something like that. So I changed the menu and brought it up to date into the more popular, areas. Did a lot more lobsters and fresh fish. We had, 4 different types of fresh fish on the menu at all times. Bunch of prime steaks, and then I started learning the dry age process out there as well. So we have a downstairs cooler, walk-in cooler that just held beer. So we decided to turn half of it into a dry age cooler.
Oh, that's neat.
And we were dry aging ribeyes.
Dry aging ribeyes and beer.
Beer and ribeyes. We were. I went to. I got a chance to go to a friend's wedding in Maui, and we were watching them cook stuff. Cook the whole pig on the coals,
right,
underground. I said,
oh, that's a neat deal. I've seen him. I haven't seen him in Hawaii, but I saw him do it on TV. It's neat.
Oh yeah, dude, it was awesome. I just stood there the whole time asking questions to these big old Hawaiian guys, and they were telling me. So we got back home and we decided to do what we called the caveman back then, caveman ribeye. So we would take the dry aged ribeyes, season them up, and we had this nice mix that I still use today for our seasoning. And we wouldn't grill them. We had a wood fired mesquite grill. We wouldn't grill them. We'd throw them right down into the coals and just char them. Oh my gosh, man, it was
was it good?
awesome. Oh, it was awesome. So
well, you throw them in the coals and you get them all charred black.
Yeah,
and the inside would be perfect.
Oh man, perfect.
So you got bark on a steak, basically.
Oh yeah, dude, it was amazing, and everybody loved them, man.
Because see, to me, I do that big barbecue deal every year, list every year, and I've been working on them, fixing to come out. It's going to come out in about 6 weeks now for this last year, but I love bark on brisket.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If the brisket can be good and juicy, but if the bark is not flavorful to me, it's not on my. It can't be. It falls down the list.
Oh yeah. No, I think that I'd much rather eat the fat and the bark than eat the meat at all.
There's just a lot of flavor in there.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part. So, but yeah, that's we did that, and we had I started really getting into wines, learning about wine when I was at the Grape, obviously, because it was just a wine restaurant. But we had I met a guy named Clay Moritzen out in Sonoma. He's in Healdsburg, actually, and he is a world-class winemaker, super nice guy, and he came and did a wine dinner with me. We did a bunch of wine dinners at Culpeper, probably one a month or one every other month.
Yeah.
And we do, a full pair everybody.
They're popular now too, wine dinners.
Oh my gosh, yes. But we were doing these way back in the day, and Clay came out. I met him, and he came out, and he said, "What's your favorite kind of wine?" And I told him, and he goes, "Man, you chefs are all weird." I said, "Yeah, we want a different wine. We want something bold. We want something crazy."
Yeah.
And so it was
flavor.
It was called Petit Verdot, and he said, "Well,
Petit Verdot."
Petit Verdot, yeah." And so he ended up the next year. He said, "Hey man, I need you to come to California and check this out." He goes, "I got 9 barrels of Petit Verdot." I said, "Okay." He goes, "Do you want one?" I said, "Well, do I want one?" "Well, sure." So we did a wine. Especially, I went out there and picked out the barrel that I wanted, and he bottled it for me.
Did you taste a bit of each barrel?
Yeah, I tasted each.
And each barrel tasted different.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very different. It was crazy. And he goes, "Which one do you want?" I said, "I want that one." So he bottled it all up for us and sent it back, and we sold it at Culpeper.
That's
and
neat.
it was, "Hey, I want this steak with this bottle of wine," until, and everybody would walk in the door and go, "What does Chad recommend?" This is what Chad recommends, right here and right here.
Yeah.
And don't vary from it.
I guess you sold a lot of it.
Oh yeah, we sold.
How long did that barrel last?
It was 22 cases of wine.
That's not that much, is it?
Not when you think about it. It's not that much, but it was 22 12-packs of wine.
So how long did you last?
We did 2 different vintages. We did 2012 and 2013 vintages of it, and we sold out within the year every time.
That's neat.
We couldn't keep it in. It was awesome.
So what was was that your favorite wine, the Petite?
It's one of them. Yeah, I'm good friends with a bunch of winemakers, and over the years have tasted stuff that, they generally don't give to the public, you know, and you come out there and you cook for them at their house, and there's stuff that
you get the goods.
The hidden stuff, the hidden gems, you know, which was fun.
The private stash.
Yeah, but that's probably one of my favorite wines. But there's been some other stuff that's really good and really hard to find. But over the years, you tend to go back to the things that you like more and more and more.
Sure.
So it's been good.
Let me ask you a question. You sent me a picture, and it looked like he had a big old truffle in that picture. Was that a truffle?
It was.
It was a big truffle.
It was. So,
where'd you get that big old truffle? Because that wasn't a cheap truffle.
No, it was not. So,
Wait, for everybody that's listening that doesn't know what a truffle is, tell them what a truffle is.
All right, so a truffle is a mushroom,
Right.
or a fungus, really, which is what mushrooms are. But it's a fungus, but it grows only on oak trees on the roots below the ground, right? And they have a distinct smell.
Very distinct.
Very distinct smell, and they're very hard to find.
Yeah, they are.
They used to use pigs to find them.
Right.
Now they use dogs because the dogs won't eat them.
Right.
The pigs will
I was
eat
going to say pigs would root around and find them, yeah.
Oh, yeah, pigs. But you'd have to pull the pig off. But if you had a big enough pig, he'd pull you down to eat the truffle.
Yeah.
So France, Italy, Oregon, there's some Australian, there's some in South Africa. I mean, but the big ones are Italy and France.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the two big places to get them. So we wanted to do something crazy and get us known a little bit better, and so we decided we were going to do some stuff with truffles.
Like the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant
Okay.
at Culpeper.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
And we asked this guy out of New York, the main big truffle dealer out of New York, and he said, "Yeah, I mean, how big do you want?" I said, "No, I want the biggest one." He said, "Well, they go up for auction when I get big ones in."
Y'all
like that."
didn't.
And I said, "Okay." So the first year we tried to do it, they sold it to Morimoto in New York.
Yeah.
And they didn't give me an opportunity to bid on it. And my owner at the restaurant at Culpeper has very deep pockets, and he was mad. So the next year, they decided, when it came in, he called me and he said, "Listen, this is a 1.2 pound truffle." It was as big as my hand.
Yeah, I saw, I thought it might be fake. I was trying to see if blowing up, if it was fake or not.
No. So it was the largest white truffle to come out of Italy that year.
Okay.
And it's still one of the top, I think, 10 or 12 truffles of all time to come out of Italy.
Yeah.
That's how big it was. We ended up paying, he called me and asked me, "Do you want to buy it straight up or do you want me to put it on auction?"
Oh.
I said, "I'll buy it straight up." He goes, "It's going to cost you a little bit more." I said, "I don't care." I said, you can walk it around town or take pictures." I said, "I want it on my doorstep the next morning." He goes, "It'll be there." $8,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 1.2 pound, $8,000 truffle. So we did a dinner with it. I invited seven chefs,
All right.
and so there were 8 of us in all. And we did an Italian wine dinner with Bertani, Bertani wines.
Oh, yeah.
And they shipped me stuff from Bertani, and I mean all kinds of cool wines. And we did an 8-course wine dinner.
Oh, wow.
Eight different chefs. You got your course, and everybody got. It had to have truffle some way integrated.
Yeah, and integrated in the dish.
Yeah. So it was awesome.
Okay, so
awesome.
I want to tell you my truffle story.
All right.
So you went to see Marcus, right, Paisley?
Yep.
All right. So one night I had to go dinner. I was going to dinner down there, and I might have had some TX whiskey before dinner.
Oh, okay.
I was trying TX whiskey, and I might have been on my 4th or 5th glass.
Okay.
And I just drank TX straight. I don't juice it up or anything because I like the way it tastes.
Right.
I think if you're going to drink whiskey, any scotch, you should just drink it with ice, 1 cube of ice, and that's it.
Yeah, that's usually the way I drink it.
Yeah, that's the way I drink it. So, and I don't ever get ridiculous drunk or anything. I just get feeling good, or whatever. But I didn't. So I'd had 4 or 5 glasses of whiskey. I didn't have my glasses on, and the restaurant was dark. Let's take those 3 things into consideration.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there, and Marcus comes out and goes, "Hey Trey, man, put your sniffer on this." And it was a truffle it was a white truffle from France, about that big.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good size. Well, I already didn't know what it was. I just took it. I was talking. I took it and I bit it. I thought he said, try this. I bit into this thing and took a huge hunk out of the side of this truffle, and he grabbed that thing, and his restaurant's open. And I saw him march back in the kitchen because it tasted like pure hail.
Oh, yes.
I'm trying to chew this down and act like it didn't taste it.
Right.
Like it tasted all right. I saw him march back in the kitchen. And he was back to in the chefs are wrong. And then Marcus came back out there to the table, and he said, "You know what you just did?" I said, "Yeah, I do now." You know how much? That was a $300 bite you took.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, you may pay for it?" He's like, "No, I'm just going to chalk it up to the experience." He started laughing. He said, "That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I'll never forget this." So he wrote this big story about it, and we put it, and we went on my website, still on my website, Dane. It's just absolutely, it was one of the most memorable things. He's never forgotten that, ever forgotten that.
Well, I want to tell you thank you for sending me over to him, man. That was one of the best experiences I've had. So
Guarantee you.
Yeah, that guy's super awesome, man.
I will guarantee you when people ask me what's the best restaurant in Dallas-Fort Worth, he's in the top 3 all the time, and most time for me he's number 1.
Oh yeah,
he's just fantastic.
Yeah.
What'd you have there?
We had probably 5 or 6 different dishes.
See, here's what his deal. He doesn't advertise.
No.
He doesn't do print. He doesn't do a lot of media. He doesn't like doing that stuff. So he has just got a fantastic, a serious place that is hidden. It's a treasure.
Yeah, for sure.
That once you go one time, you can't help but go back.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I'm already thinking about my next trip over there, and having to come from Dallas all the way over here. I said, maybe we'll just stay tonight and go back over to Clay Pigeon.
Yeah.
And you know, my girlfriend was like, "Oh yeah, that's well, I'm in." It's awesome, man.
Did you enjoy Marcus?
Yeah,
he's a great guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I got to talk with him for probably 15 minutes or so. I mean, it was a busy Friday night, I think, when we went. And
incredibly talented chef. One of the most talented.
Very good. I like to look at people like that and go, man, I hope people think that I'm the way I think about these chefs.
Sure.
You know, so that's kind of your mentorship around the culinary community is you look at different chefs and go,
sure,
man, I really like the way this guy is. He's cool, calm, collected. He's a really good chef, really talented. That's the kind of chef I want to be.
He is very calm and collected. You know who his idol was? Not you see the big picture on the Marco?
Oh yeah.
You
Marco
see that big
Pierre
picture?
White. Yep. Yeah.
That was his idol, and he's not like that though.
Oh no, he's not like that at all.
No, but isn't that funny? It's so funny.
I know.
But he took all the best qualities.
Oh yeah, and said this is the way I'm going to do it.
But nowadays, there's no way. Like his restaurant's completely open. That's why I like it. Like Abacus was.
Yep.
But you can't be hollering, throwing stuff in open restaurant. People won't come back. They get uncomfortable.
Right.
Nowadays, they get uncomfortable.
Right. Very.
So,
and that's, I mean, they want to see how the chef works.
Right.
Mind-wise, but they can't understand, why Gordon Ramsay's that way and that way on TV. Well, he's not like that in the restaurant.
No.
He's like that for TV, not for general purposes and being in a restaurant because you won't get anything done.
Yeah.
You
offend people.
Yeah, very much.
Nowadays you do.
Very much.
Used to, I think it was the ideology of chefs. They were like that because that's the way they were trained. But nowadays they'll sue you. They'll put you in court. You can't.
Oh, yeah, no.
That won't work.
You'll go away quick.
Yeah, you go away real quick.
Real fast.
Yeah, you have some restaurant owner sued if it's not your restaurant.
Yeah, definitely.
So what was your favorite thing that you ate at Clay Pigeon?
We tried the pot pie. He had a bird pot pie was quail, duck, and chicken.
Oh Lord!
Oh,
I bet that was delicious.
Oh my gosh! it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
That his mac and cheese was awesome. I mean, just we had a bunch. We drank a lot of whiskey that night too. So
what were you drinking? TX?
I usually drink either TX or if you had Lone Elm.
No.
So Lone Elm is one of a friend of mine. Represents it. It's out of Forney, Texas, and it's right down the street from my house. So we drink either one of those. But I do like the TX, and their new facility is awesome.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
So
it is incredible. Is what it is.
Oh yeah,
it's mind blowing.
Oh yeah,
because to go from where just a short time ago,
right.
They were in a warehouse.
Oh yeah,
and they didn't just bite off a little bit and change a little bit. They went literally from like a horse and mule,
right?
A mule and a cart to the Grand Palace.
I know, and that place is fantastic, man. Fantastic.
I've never seen the same thing twice. And their lounge, their bar area is tremendous.
Oh yeah, super cool, super cool. Plus they got Don't they got the little golf course?
Yeah,
out back?
whole 18-hole golf course.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh,
They got a bunch of stuff out there.
fantastic. So
They got where you can pitch do all kind of games and stuff. It's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
They make all those craft cocktails, and they have a whole big area. They do all kinds of cooking classes.
oh yeah,
It is, and they have all those barrels. It's just I can't even. It's one of the coolest places I've been to.
oh yeah, for sure.
I do want to take a trip over to Ireland and see some of those whiskey olds. I really do want to, and they're not going to be as nice as that, but the history,
The history's where
the
you're at.
history,
Yeah.
and the knowledge, and just sitting there soaking it up.
Oh yeah.
Feeling it.
So I've been to Ireland one time, and I got to go to the Guinness, St. James Gate,
Yeah,
where they
was
make
that
Guinness.
fun?
Super cool, super cool. And then we also got to go through Jameson, and it was super cool, man. I mean, and you can tell me all you want, but I can go through a lineup and pick out Jameson every stinking time.
Yeah.
And be like, which one is it? That's Jameson right there. Might have drinking a little bit of that before.
Hey, which one do they use the peat over there? Because I know I watched a show where they were digging out peat.
Most of the time, that's in Scotland.
Okay.
Ireland tends to not use as much, if any at all. But I mean, it
So
just
the
depends.
show I saw, 'cause I remember where some. So peat makes it smoky, correct?
Yeah, it kind of gives it that, like what Scotch tastes like.
Yeah.
That's the more the peat that they use while they're distilling it. So
So what's your favorite Scotch, or what's your favorite to cook with? Scotch or whiskey or a blend? What?
usually bourbon.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Maker's Mark guy.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, we'll use a lot of Maker's Mark. I just use bourbon in general. It doesn't really matter.
I love the marketing of Maker's Mark, that wax on that bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's still one of the best looking bottles on the market.
Oh man, it's fantastic. So
Noticeable.
I'm an ambassador to Maker's Mark, and you sign up. Basically, they have a free online deal where you sign up, and you can get your name on a barrel, and then it shows you. There's an app now, and it shows you when your barrel comes to maturity, and they send you an email. So my email just came in. I've been waiting 7 years for it.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. So from April to June, you can go to the distillery and take a picture with your name on the barrel. It's like there's like 20 names on a plaque on a barrel, and you can get the whiskey out of that barrel, and you can dip your own wax, the tops to them.
Oh, that is a neat deal.
So guess what I'm doing? That's one of my main things. I've never been up there, and I want to go so bad.
I've never been either. Where are they?
They're in Lexington,
Kentucky.
Yeah, Loretta, Lexington area.
Yeah.
It's right there on the.
That's
Bourbon
not that
Trail.
far from here.
No, I mean,
That's a snack of a drive.
Oh yeah, I mean maybe 10, 12
Yeah,
hours.
yeah, it's
So,
quick.
Yeah, I want to.
Beautiful country.
I know. I definitely want to go drive to it.
Yeah, I
So,
love. They still hand dip all those bottles.
Hand
I,
dip.
I just watched a show on that.
Yep.
You know, I try to watch all the shows I can on drinking and breweries and distilleries and food, because I just soak the knowledge up, because what I do now.
Right.
So I just saw a show where they were hand dipping those, every one of them still. That's so cool how they dip them and they twist them and bring them up.
Yep. And so you can go do that. Now, they said you can only take 7 bottles at a time, because that's all they're allowed to sell to one person in one day.
Yeah.
You can go back multiple days and get the same.
I guess that has something to do with the laws, or the bootlegger laws
yeah,
from the old time. What's not?
Yeah, I mean, so they were like, make sure you bring a lot of people with you if you want multiple bottles of your whiskey in your barrel. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, so definitely got to bring my fiance, my best friend, anybody I can get to go.
Yeah.
Let's go do it now.
How much do they charge you per bottle? Is it the big bottle? What size bottle is it?
It's the regular size bottles,
Okay.
the 750s, but I think they give you a discounted price because you're an ambassador. So, I mean, I don't know what it is. I haven't researched it that far, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
It won't matter.
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah.
one way or another.
Yeah,
so.
that's fun.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite thing to cook with bourbon? Like, if you had to cook one dish, if someone said you can only cook one dish tonight, what would be your favorite dish you would cook with bourbon? But it has to be infused with bourbon.
It's got to be infused with bourbon. I'll probably do something with venison, just because I like it so much.
Yeah.
I would probably do something with some wild mushrooms, and do something deglaze with bourbon, and make a sauce with like either bourbon, brown sugar, I'm big into like some tart berries, either a cherry or a currant, and make like a little sauce with all that, kind of putting that with the venison.
Currant's got unusual flavor to it.
Definitely.
What-
Definitely. Tart.
Yeah.
There's almost like a sweet tart.
Yeah, but it's weird.
yeah.
I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's just weird. I've never really got into it, but I mean, I'll eat it. But it's definitely distinctive.
They're definitely different. Definitely different. But that's one of the things about being a chef is trying to figure all that kind of stuff
Sure.
out and make it nice and clean. I like to, I mean, I do a lot of fresh herbs, especially being in Texas, sage and rosemary and thyme and stuff like that. I crust up a nice venison loin and make
Jack that flavor profile up, baby.
my gosh.
Flavor rodeo in your mouth.
Hell
yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about Abacus because that's where I met you the first time. Abacus, two years ago, three, I don't know.
2 to 3, yeah,
2 to 3.
something like that.
So that was a fantastic restaurant.
Was.
And I'm going to tell you something, really, if you're not going to believe this. So yesterday I'm sitting in my Mac working. I'm working on my hamburger story for last year where I was trying to get it finished up, so get it over to my editor. But I was working on this story, and all of a sudden it came on TV. Because what I do is I record all these shows.
Okay.
I don't record them. You TiVo, whatever the hell you do to them.
Right.
The technology terms changed so much for that. So,
Right.
and I play them and let them run in the background. And I just turned it on. I was working on a hamburger story. I just looked at your picture with the truffle. And I'll be damned, this thing that comes on the TV and goes, and the best thing I've ever eaten, it's on that best show, best thing I ever ate, was the lobster shooters at Abacus in Dallas, Texas.
That's funny.
I was like, oh my God. Because truthfully, that's one of the best things I've ever eaten.
Right.
That was, remember I had y'all bring me 6 more, that was a phenomenal dish.
Right.
That thing was delicious. So tell me, but we'll talk about Abacus, and then we're going to talk about the school I went to, because that with you, because that school was phenomenal. But tell me how the lobster shooters made and how y'all did that. Who created that?
That was the chef before us, Kent Rathman.
Okay.
So he did that, and when I got to Abacus, he had just left.
Right.
So he left in August or September of 2016, and I started in January of 2017.
Okay.
So he had just left, but yeah, he created those, and they're still on the menu over at Jasper's right now. At the Uptown location only.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just the combination. Why has nobody copied that? Why aren't there 100 different restaurants doing that? Because it's so good.
I think one of the things is they're really, really labor intensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking, 6 per order. Well, they're each handmade.
Right.
I mean, so each little dumpling's handmade, and there's one lady that does it, and she's pretty much the only one that knows the exact recipe, because I've seen 4 different versions of the recipe, and not one of them tastes like the way she makes them. So I don't know.
It's savory, creamy. It is, and it's just loaded with flavor. It's just one shot deal, and so it's got tequila, right?
No,
What's in there?
So there's coconut milk, sake, there's rice mirin or rice wine.
Right.
There is cilantro, mint, basil.
Such a great combination.
There is red bell peppers. There's ginger, lemongrass.
Now, is that all emulsified and put in a sauce? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all emulsified into the sauce and then strained out through it.
Right.
But the sauce takes about an hour to make, and we were making about 6 gallons at a time.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
They're that popular.
Oh yeah. Everybody walks in the door, gets those.
Very few, that's what I do for, it's what you do too, you're a chef, but I do it for a living. I eat food all week long.
Right.
All week long I eat different dishes.
Right.
And when I had that dish, it just blew me. I mean, because I wasn't expecting it.
Right.
I think I didn't know, or y'all just brought it out to me.
Right.
To try.
Yeah.
I'd never had it. Well, I think I said, I know I never had that. And you said, you've never had a lot. So y'all brought it out, and I was just stunned at the flavor. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Yep.
That's why I ordered some more.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're he came up with those a long time ago. I mean, that restaurant was there for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
Now, was he a partner in that deal?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, then he left. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's done a lot of restaurants.
Yep. Yeah. He's got a few more now.
Yeah, he's got the one down on, I'm going to have him on the show here too pretty quick.
Emoto.
Yeah. Have you been there?
No, I have not.
I have not either. I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
One of our Another colleague of mine is his sous chef, and he's a good dude too.
Okay, cool.
So.
All right, so I went to Abacus Trial. It was awesome, but then I went to the school. I was invited to go to school, and I went to school, y'all. And that school was phenomenal. What was that school called?
So we do cooking classes, and it was called the Dirty Dozen.
Right, Dirty Dozen. That's right. I love the name too.
Yeah, so it's 12 people. They come in on a Sunday when we're closed. Usually we have 4 chefs. So it'll be the executive chef, which was Chris Patrick at the time. Me, exec sous, our sous chef was Craig, and then our pastry chef. And so you get broken up, and everybody gets 3 people, and you get the experience of whatever we're doing that day. I can't remember what we were doing. Were we doing barbecue?
Yeah, you were some. Yes, you were, because you were smoking out back.
Okay, so so that theme was the barbecue theme or whatever, and so you learn from the chef how to do whatever he's doing that day. That day was barbecue, so I don't even remember what I was doing, but you've got 3 people and you've got to make dishes. So they get there at 2. We start cooking around 2:30, and then they get to bring a guest to come eat with them around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And during the whole process, there's, you're tasting and sampling stuff, but the wine starts coming around, and we have a good time with that. But they get to bring somebody and sit down with it, and it was just super cool. We did it about once a month, once every other month.
I remember getting there at 1 o'clock, and then not leaving until after dark. I mean, I was there a long time, but I loved it. It was riveting. It was just there was always something going on.
Right.
I was taking pictures, watching everybody work. I do remember. Was it Chris gave the speech before, or you? No, maybe you get.
It was probably me. The safety speech.
Yeah. The thing that stuck out of my mind the most was that I thought what somebody should know, just common sense. But y'all told me it's a big deal. Is act like everything's 100,000 degrees or 1,000 degrees. Don't touch anything without a.
Yeah.
And obviously that comes from people don't think.
Right.
I guess if you're not around the restaurant business, you're not in the back of the house, you don't think about everything being hot.
Right.
But it's the truth.
Right. I mean, when you're at the house or something like that, most of the time your pans don't get that hot.
Yeah.
What people fail to realize is when you're in a kitchen, everything's hot all the time. Yeah. It's always on, and it's always on the highest it can go. It's not like we have an oven on 350. Yeah. The oven's on 500 all the time. The burners are on all the time.
Yeah, full blast.
Yeah, they don't stop, you know, and that's what people fail to realize. And even things that you might not think would be hot, like you're walking to the freezer to grab something. Well, let's say I'm trying to cool something off that just came out of a 500-degree oven. Yeah. I go put it right in the freezer, and you walk in right after me going, oh, everything in here is frozen, and you grab it. So chefs, you know this. Chefs always have towels in their hands. Yeah. We always have a towel on us, and that's just the way we work.
It's smart. It's smart practice.
Yeah, I mean, it just...
You train yourself.
Yeah, very much so. After you burn yourself a few times, you'll get it.
So Abacus closed down. They made a transformation. They're now Jasper's.
Jasper's, yeah.
What was your favorite thing at Abacus to cook? Your favorite dinner?
My favorite dinner? We did a pretty cool dinner with Veuve Clicquot wines, champagne. And we did like a 5-course dinner with them 2 years in a row. And their champagnes are so good. But we did some phenomenal stuff. We did a lot of game at Abacus as well, just because Chris went to school. He went to school here, but he worked in Colorado for a while. So me and him got along real well. And
I could tell the way y'all work together. I thought you got along fantastic.
Oh yeah, I mean we're still. I've only known him since 2017, and I feel like
you wouldn't think that. I thought y'all were longtime buddies.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. We've been in the same circle of chef friends since 2000, and had never met each other until I walked in the door, and he went, "How do you know all these people?" I said, "Well, how do you know all these people?" And it was just one of those things. We became best friends right off the bat. So.
I watch people, and personality-wise, that's what I do, and relationships. To be successful, you have to, in today's times for me, or any time really, you have to build successful relationships. And you and Chris, y'all worked really well together. The relationship was, I could tell, was just there was no problem with trust or anything in that relationship.
No, I walked in the door, and he looked at me, and he said, "Yep, you're it. You're the guy. Get in the kitchen." He's like, figure it out. And it took me about, 3-4 days to figure it out. And he was like, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm perfect. No big deal.
So what is I want to ask you what is the most significant thing about being a chef to you? What is the one thing you could say that you're proud of about being a chef?
I'm very artistic, style-wise. I'm very, very artistic. And for me, I don't think artists get enough recognition.
I agree.
And most of the time, they have to be dead to get recognition about whatever they did or are doing or whatever. For me, it's the instant gratification of, here's my art, here's my best thing I can do today, and I'm going to sit in front of you, and you can look right back at me and go, holy crap, this is the best thing I've ever had. And it makes me feel awesome as a person and awesome as a chef to go, I'm leading all these guys and all these kitchens, and this is my art. This is my instant gratification art.
Awesome. Chad, thank you.
Thank you, Trey.
See y'all next week. Trey Shoutout Live. Same time, same bad channel. I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of Trey'sChowdown.com. I'm passionate about finding the best food, drinks, and chefs, and sharing it all with you. I should know I have over 5 decades of food experience. Find me on any podcast platform, Facebook Live, or just Google me. Now you can watch and listen to all my great finds every week on my live TV and radio podcast at Trey's Chowdown Live.